Welcome to Easily Confused Words 5. Today we're going to start with then versus than. Now, to begin with, they sound a little bit different, but we get a little lazy sometimes when we say than, then, to. So let's talk about how to tell them apart. Then is a time word, like when, and they're spelled the same. So it's like the next thing. Then is a time like when. If you're not talking about a time, you probably mean than. And than looks a lot like math spelled backwards because you use it a lot in math. 3 is greater than 2. 1 is less than 2. That A looks an awful lot like your greater than, less than symbol. But you also use the same thing if you want to say, like, the grass is greener than the neighbor's grass. When we're comparing, just like these numbers, we want the A in the middle for than. Next, we have to, like to go from one place to another, versus too, like too much, versus two, like the number 2. Now, this first kind of to go from one place to another, when you're traveling from one place to another, you want to take the shortest line between two places. Well, you also want the shortest word. To go from, say, Jerome to Boise, the shortest path is the shortest word, to. Our next to is like too many, too much, too often. It also has too many O's. So think too much has too many O's. And our last kind of to is like the number. Now, most people spell this right. It's different enough not to forget. But the W in the middle does have 2 little arms if you need to remember. Next, we have your, when something is yours, versus your, the contraction, you are. So first, let's look at this kind of your. Notice you can't spell your without are, because they're both ownership words. Yours, ours. And so they're spelled the same because they are related. And then we have the contraction, you are. Now the apostrophe should be a dead giveaway here. It's taking the place of that A. So that the contraction, your, has the apostrophe in it. If you mean you are, you need to have the apostrophe because it's representing 2 words. Now we have whose, like whose laptop is broken here, versus whose, also the contraction. So whose is a word like his or hers. It's a word that shows ownership. His cookies, her cookies, whose cookies are these? And because it's the same kind of words, no apostrophe. We don't use an apostrophe in any of these, not in hers, not in his, and not in whose. The apostrophe is the giveaway again that this is a contraction. Who is? So we're only going to use that apostrophe when we mean the 2 words who is. Now we have there, like over there. There, like when more than one person owns something. And there, again, the contraction. So there, you can't spell there without here. This is a place word. Whether it's your house or your classroom, there is spelled just like here and where because it's somewhere. There is an ownership word. It means more than one person owns something. So again, this is just like his and hers. Their, his, her. We don't use an apostrophe in words that show ownership unless they have a name. So all of those generic words about ownership, their, his, her, our, your, no apostrophes here. When we have an apostrophe, again, it's a contraction. They are. The apostrophe means we're taking out the A. So we only use the apostrophe in the contractions. I hope you're noticing a pattern here. In our easily confused words, apostrophes are almost always contractions. They mean two words. That's it for today. See you again next week for some more easily confused words.